I think it's well agreed in the martial art community that focus pad training is probably the most effective way to train. Not just in the martial art community, you just got to look at combat sports generally, they all train on focus mitts. So Wing Chun's no different. One of the problems that I notice when my own students train on the focus pads is that they make 5 common mistakes. So today's tip is how to train on the focus pads. So tip number 1, form a fist properly. Quite often when I watch my students hitting the pads, especially beginners, is that they tend to not form a fist or form a fist at the last minute. The best thing to do is to form a fist, if you refer back to our wall bag training DVD, okay, or even our short blog on how to train and condition your hands, okay, on the wall bag, we spoke about forming a fist. So when you hit the pads, try to make sure you hit the pad, the focus mitt 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hit directly with a weighted closed hand. That's important. Tip number 2, try to hit through the pad. Common mistake that people do when they hit the pad is that they hit with a long arm. So they've already punched the pad, and I see a lot of my beginners making this error. They punch, and they punch with an extended arm at range. The problem with that is, as you're punching with range, your arm can only naturally extend so far, so the weight transference and transference of energy is going to be limited by the direction of your own arm. So when you're training on the pads, what you should do is hit into the pads with a bent arm and drive through. So there'll be a little bit more spring, bang on the punch, bang on the punch. So you hit and you extend through. See what I mean? Tip number 3, try to make sure when you hit the pad, you don't scrape your knuckles down. What you do is you hit into the pad and you retract your hand out. And your hand will come out naturally, bang, if you relax. You see how, bang, I relax, bang, I relax, and my hand is coming out naturally. What it's not doing is scraping down. Far too many of my own students, when I watch them, they scrape their hands down either the wall bag or the focus mitts, and they take the skin off their own knuckles when they're doing that. Not a good idea to do. Obviously it bleeds, and the problem with having bleeds, it looks tough. Not a good idea. But you can't train. Tip number 4, try to have some focus on the pads. And that's physical as well as psychological. So most pads have a center. So you're focusing to hitting to the center of that pad, okay, hitting in a very direct way, hitting in a very direct way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, but when you hit the center of the pad. So that is the physical focus. The psychological focus is more important. I would say, in my opinion, it's more important because if you're just looking around and you're just hitting like this, there's no real mind-body connection. You're not really linking what you're doing. What you're doing is you're just throwing your arm out. What you want to do is throw the hips into it and really engage your mind. You're actually hitting something. And then what you're doing is you're conditioning your body and your mind to work together. So when you believe you're going to hit, you're going to hit. So psychological is important. And that improves your accuracy as well. And the last one, and I'm going to be very quick on this one, is coordination. Try to make sure that you step in hand-leg coordination and also hand-leg and joint coordination. So you're 1, 2, using your hips. 1, 2, using your hips. Stepping in and moving quickly, sharply with your body, but you're using your whole body to step in and get the coordination. So the 5 most common mistakes, you can fix them, you can avoid them, and you can get some great results. Go train hard, put it into practice. Thank you.